Tonight's other top story, the CDC with special guidance now for people who have been fully vaccinated. The CDC says they can, without masking or social distancing, visit with other fully vaccinated people indoors and unvaccinated people, and also low-risk people from a single household. Those fully vaccinated can also skip quarantine and testing guidelines after being exposed to COVID as long as they are asymptomatic. Right now, there are more than 610,000 fully vaccinated Coloradans. And the new guidance has people feeling optimistic about what's to come as that process continues. Our Alan Janae looking into that tonight. Alan, it's not that simple, though, when it comes to how businesses can operate.
Well, there's a lot to think about. You know, another notch open, Jim, means another question mark for many people who now have to decide what they're comfortable with. As experts are finding out more and more, the vaccines are working, with worries that some variant might come about and go around them. We decided to take a look at whether there might be vaccine-positive places coming.
Has anybody really been thinking about what we do when we get a lot of people vaccinated?
Yes, there's been a lot of conversation about that.
The CDC's guidance comes as people have been wondering. Doug Farmer is president of an organization that represents nursing homes and assisted living facilities, now with a high degree of vaccination.
Yes, I would love to see a day when we can, get back to normal visitation. People can hug each other and do so without a mask and without gloves or a gown.
But getting there would require a federal decision, not made yet, on how much vaccination would be needed.
I don't even know at this point whether that's something that we expect to see go away in anytime in the near future.
Businesses may consider it. Gyms have been hurting.
It's an interesting topic, that's for sure, and it's positive news, and I hope more of it continues to come out like that.
Corey Brightwell runs Choose Fitness, but doesn't see it as possible.
Not yet. I think it's probably a little too early to go down that route.
People are talking about it, but just can't agree,
wearing them and
like this married couple.
We have lost some very, very good friends to this, so I don't want to minimize that. But it's time to go. It's time.
Until everybody gets vaccinated, I think, yes, it is a better deal to have a mask on.
Well, I checked with other industries as well. Restaurants are telling me not yet. The Colorado Hotel and Lodging Association is yet to take a position. Some are saying that airlines and cruise lines might have an interest in creating vaccine-positive flights, but that contains probably some sticky legal questions as well for people who have religious objections to vaccinations or those who couldn't get them for medical reasons. Would they be discriminated against if they couldn't board or go on a cruise ship? And the courts would likely end up deciding the answer. In Denver, I'm Alan Janae, covering Colorado First.